I want to take a look at, speaking of George Santos, an interview he did with Matt Gaetz on the War Room podcast. So Matt Gaetz was filling in for Steve Bannon, hosting Steve Bannon's show, the War Room podcast, which, sorry, we'll get into these clips, but can you think of a worse situation? The War Room podcast, which is Steve Bannon's podcast, but Matt Gaetz is filling in for him, and they're interviewing George Santos. Ooh. Well, this was a disastrous interview. And the third clip I'm going to show you sent me into a laughing fit that brought tears to my eyes when and I'm not saying that in a silly way. Genuinely, I was laughing that hard when I was preparing for today's show. And I just played it probably like 10 times. It cracked me up so much. But first, here's the first clip we'll take a look at from this interview.
You have admitted embellishing your resume. You've acknowledged it. You've apologized for it. Some have said that you shouldn't be seated on committees for it. I would offer that if we didn't seat people on committees who embellish their resume running for Congress, we probably wouldn't be able to make quorum in any of those committees. Do you now
a real hard-hitting interview? Sir, you are so right. What do you think of that?
Have a sense of the committees you want to serve on, the type of work you want to do?
I came to D.C. without really any preconceived notions of what committees to serve, but whether what I can give to the American people. Whatever committee I'm given, whether it's, I don't know, science and technology or education and labor or whatever committee is thrown my way, I will deliver 110% because that's what I know how to do. I'm going to outwork any of the pundits and talking heads that are out there saying that I should resign, that I'm unfit for office. The reality is, and the case in point here being is, I'm a workhorse. I've worked my whole life. I'm the kid who came from a basement department.
You weren't supposed to win this seat.
I was not supposed to win.
The American dream. Of course he's a workhorse. He worked for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, guys. Oh, wait, nope. I'm getting word that was a lie. He did not work for those two places. Next clip we'll take a look at here.
It's their prerogative. I came here to serve the people, not politicians and party leaders, and I'm going to do just that. And I've been doing just that throughout this entire first 2 weeks, whether it was voting for the speaker or whether it's been the last week where we've been working on legislation in my office. So, you know, I wish well all of their opinions, but I was elected by 142,000 people. Until those same 142,000 people tell me they don't want me, we'll find out in 2 years.
What do those 142,000 people deserve in a representative?
They deserve somebody who's going to come here and fight and not get involved.
I wanted him so bad to say honesty. They deserve honesty.
With the media nonsense that we're seeing take place, right? Look, a lot of people are saying that I am unable to govern, I'm unable to deliver. But in the meantime, my office and my staff, we've been able to jump on co-sponsoring legislation such as term limits, which you spoke about earlier.
Okay, very interesting. And then, finally, my favorite moment, Matt Gaetz, you'll hear the tail end of his question, but it relates to the funding of his campaign. There's a lot of questions about, how did you fund your campaign, George? There's some odd kind of information on that front, just all of a sudden funding popping up that doesn't seem to match your previous wealth and all this different stuff that you personally financed with. Take a look.
Work you did that was the origin of those resources?
Look, I've worked my entire life. I've lived an honest life. I've never been accused, sued of any bad doing. So, you know, it's the equity of my hard working self, and I've invested inside of me. Like I said, it didn't come from Burisma. It didn't come from Ukraine, Russia, China, unlike some folks that we all know that get money from those sources.
Inside the...
So, okay, this is... Let's just watch it one more time. See if you can catch what got me giggling.
Work you did that was the origin of those resources?
Look, I've worked my entire life. I've lived an honest life. I've never been accused, sued of any bad doing. So, you know, it's the equity of my hard working self, and I've invested inside of me. Like I said, it didn't come from Burisma. It didn't come from Ukraine, Russia, China, unlike some folks that...
Yep. So you tell me what that means. Let me know what he meant by that. Luke P. Beasley on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get a full extra show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there's a link in the description.